Welcome to the Brain Alpha. We're so glad you're hanging out with us today. Have you ever felt like you're doing literally everything right? Putting in the hours, just grinding away, but that ideal life you're picturing still feels, just out of reach? Well, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're diving into a mind-bending explainer based on the insights of Lewis Howes. He's a former pro athlete and a world-renowned podcaster, and he's got this method that might sound totally counterintuitive at first. We're going to break down his 30-day challenge. It's a really simple, actionable system to rewire your brain and fundamentally change your life. The secret? It's all about letting go.
Think about your own burnout for a second. Like, why does the constant grind of hustle culture, always trying to force success, just leave you feeling completely stuck, frustrated, and honestly, totally exhausted? It's kind of like chasing someone who doesn't want to be caught, right? The harder you sprint toward them, the faster they run away. Well, life and success can act the exact same way. When we try way too hard to micromanage the universe, we actually end up repelling the exact things we're desperately trying to attract.
Lewis Howes actually experienced this firsthand on his way to the top. He developed a structured framework to hit your biggest goals by doing the exact opposite of what society tells us, by letting go of control. So, in this explainer, we'll hit 5 key areas. 1, the control trap. 2, process over outcome. 3, ignore outside opinions. 4, shed identity and timelines. And finally, 5, the 30-day challenge.
All right, let's jump right into the first concept. Number 1, the control trap, and why gripping tighter pushes success away.
So, society has basically brainwashed us into thinking that micromanaging every tiny detail is how you get the best results. We convince ourselves that if we just hold on tight enough, we can literally force our ideal life into existence. But here's the kicker. Gripping tighter is exactly what pushes success away. We get taking responsibility confused with needing total control. Look, responsibility is incredibly healthy. It just means showing up, doing the work, and owning your actions. Control, though? Control is toxic. It's this rigid, demanding expectation that the outcome has to perfectly match your exact vision, or else you call it a failure. They might look similar from the outside, but underneath the hood, the internal gears are completely different.
So how do you know if you're actually stuck in this trap? Let's do a quick symptom check. Do you feel incredibly guilty the literal second you sit down to rest? Do you refuse to delegate because, quote, it's just faster if I do it myself? Or maybe you're constantly micromanaging your team, or obsessing over the skills you don't even have yet. We tend to wear these traits like a badge of honor, like it's proof of our incredible work ethic. But actually, scratch that. They aren't signs of a good work ethic at all. They're symptoms of the control trap. They usually stem from past fears of being let down, past failures, or betrayals. It's just your brain trying to protect you by whispering, hey, if I control everything, I won't get hurt.
And that brings us to the core issue. Ask yourself, are you operating out of a fear-driven hustle or a passion-driven flow? When you act out of fear of falling behind, losing what you have, or just looking foolish, you're running on a finite, exhausting battery. No matter how much you actually achieve, it's never going to feel like enough. But when you operate from passion and true freedom, the process itself becomes an absolute joy. The results will naturally follow without you needing to, strangle the life out of your goals.
Okay, let's move to our next major shift. Number 2, process over outcome. It is time to stop obsessing over the finish line.
Now, letting go of the outcome is absolutely not about being lazy or checking out. In fact, it's about achieving a way deeper, much more intense level of commitment to the work itself. Lewis Howes puts this so perfectly. He says, attachment to results comes from fear. Loving the process comes from faith. Think about it. When you have this rigid obsession with a super specific result, you're basically putting blinders on. If an even better, totally unexpected opportunity pops up right next to you, you won't even see it because it wasn't part of your highly controlled master plan. You just become brittle.
So, what's the alternative to stressing over these years-long outcomes? It's the number 24. I highly encourage you to stop agonizing over your 5-year or 10-year goals every single day. Instead, shrink your focus. Dial it all the way down to a 24-hour cycle of action and personal growth. Ask yourself, did you put in the work today? Did you grow just a little bit today? Honestly, that is all you need to worry about.
Here's the really crucial point. Loving the process creates the consistency you need for massive success. If you're completely result-driven, your motivation is going to absolutely crash the second things don't go perfectly. And let's be real, they rarely go perfectly. But if you're process-driven, the action itself is your reward. You basically insulate yourself from the inevitable setbacks, which makes sure you stay in the game long enough to actually win the whole shebang.
All right, transitioning to the third thing you absolutely need to let go of. Number 3, Ignore outside opinions. Seriously, stop starring in someone else's movie.
It is so incredibly draining to constantly curate this flawless image for others and to just live in constant fear of their judgment. When you do that, you're basically just a background character in someone else's movie. We live in an era of these highly edited highlight reels, which makes it terrifying to show any kind of weakness. But remember this, people connect with authentic flaws, not curated perfection. When you hide your mistakes and try to act completely invulnerable, you're actually pushing away the exact people you want to lead, inspire, or connect with. Real connection absolutely requires vulnerability.
So, whose opinions should you actually care about? Well, the list is very, very short. First, your own inner voice. And second, a tiny, trusted circle of loved ones who truly have your best interests at heart. That's it. That's the list. You've got to stop wasting your precious energy worrying about critics, random internet commenters, or people who have literally never built anything themselves.
Which flows perfectly into our fourth pillar. Number 4, shed identity and timelines. It's time to unpack your baggage.
If you're a high achiever or type A personality, there's a really good chance you're hauling around a ton of heavy mental baggage that's holding you back. This baggage usually shows up in 2 ways: outdated self-labels and arbitrary societal clocks. Let's unpack the labels first. Identity labeling is when you cling to a past survival mechanism way after the danger's gone. For Lewis Howes, he was severely bullied as a kid. So to survive, he built up this tough guy armor, an identity that told him to never show weakness, never ask for help, never trust anyone. Sure, it kept him safe back then, but as an adult trying to build a business, that same armor blocked him from delegating, from growing, and from just finding peace. He had to actively shed that old identity to step into his real potential. And then, of course, we have the timelines. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The classic keeping up with the Joneses checklist. Society whispers that we need our dream career locked down by 25, we've got to be married and settled by 30, and hey, you better be a millionaire CEO by 40. These timelines are completely manufactured. They're ridiculous, arbitrary benchmarks that do literally nothing but drum up unnecessary anxiety and make you feel like a failure, even when you are making fantastic progress.
To prove just how fake these timelines are, take a look at Howes' actual real-life journey. It took him 8 long years to write a best-selling book. He spent over 18 years chasing his athletic dreams with the Team USA men's national handball team. Great, compounding, meaningful success almost never follows a neat, rigid, hyper-scheduled timeline. Your path is your path, period.
So what exactly do we do when we feel that timeline anxiety creeping in? The antidote is surprisingly simple: gratitude for the present moment. If you're constantly staring at the clock and agonizing over what you don't have yet, you are trapping yourself in a scarcity mindset. Replacing that with deep, genuine gratitude for the breath in your lungs and the resources you have right now, that is the master key to unlocking abundance.
All right, let's bring this all together. Section 5, the 30-day challenge. Time to let go to level up.
We've talked a lot about the theory, but now it's time for the execution. This is a highly actionable framework designed to completely rewire your brain, bust you out of that control trap, and level up your life over the next month. Here are your 4 daily habits for the next 30 days. Step 1. Identify your biggest area of anxiety or attachment right now. Just pick one. Step 2. Take one daily action as your future self. Like, if you were already super successful and at peace, how would you act today? Do that. Step 3. This is a massive one. Stop saying yes to things out of guilt, obligation, or just fear of rocking the boat. And step 4, write down one daily gratitude, but focus it entirely on the actions you took today, not the outcome. Commit to these 4 steps, and you will fundamentally dismantle your need for control.
Now, the huge temptation here is to wait. To say, oh, I'll start this when work slows down, or I'll do it when I feel a bit more confident. I'm challenging you to stop waiting for that mythical perfect moment, because, spoiler alert, it doesn't exist. Do not wait for someday. You have the power to start rewriting your identity today.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Take a real honest look at your life, your career, your relationships. What is the one single thing you are gripping the tightest? What are you trying way too hard to control right now? And more importantly, what incredible things might rush into your life if you finally found the courage to just let it go today?
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and help us build the hype. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.